Gardner, Superintendent of the Palmer Public Schools, School Committee Chairperson Bonnie Rathbone, school committee members, town council representatives, administrative team, families, and friends. On behalf of the class of 2021, I welcome you to their commencement exercises and to the 142nd commencement of Palmer High School. Tonight's welcome address will be given by the senior class president, Maya Miga. Throughout her time in school, Maya has participated in 3 varsity sports, served as both a class and student council officer, has received numerous academic and athletic awards, and is a member of the National Honor Society. In the fall, Maya will attend Merrimack College to pursue her degree in biochemistry. Ladies and gentlemen, a true Palmer Panther, President of the class of 2021, Maya Miga.
Good evening, and welcome family, friends, administration, and the graduating class of 2021. Before I address my classmates, it is necessary that I speak to our families, and not just those people who are blood related. I'm referring to the friends, parents of friends, the aunts, uncles, cousins, godparents, and extended family who have fought for us, encouraged us, and supported us through our many milestones. We would like to especially thank those directly involved with planning the senior parade, gifts, and providing financial support for the banquet. To those individuals, please know we have so much love for you. The fact of the matter is, we wouldn't be here without you. Now, to the class of 2021, we made it. While this last year disrupted many special moments, it hasn't removed our senioritis. Or more importantly, the nostalgia of realizing we are leaving our friends, our comfort zones. Although we've had a few disagreements along the way, we managed to maintain our sense of togetherness. There's no group of people that I'd rather know than all of you. So as we go forward, take advantage of the little moments. Remember the friends we've made along the way, and recognize your potential. We will always have a home away from home here, regardless of where our paths take us. I mean, hey, if we made it through remote learning, we can do anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Each year, the academic departments present a book to the most deserving senior in each subject area. 2 seniors are also chosen to be the recipients of the Principal's Award and the Citizenship Award. With such an outstanding group of bright and talented graduates, it is no easy task to select these recipients. Book awards for 2021. First one, Art. Star Trek, the official guide to the animated series. Recipient, Nicholas Silva. Physical education, the successful body, using fitness, nutrition, and mindset to live better. The recipient, Hannah Miga. Physical education, the successful body, using fitness, nutrition, and mindset to live better. The recipient, Ryan DeSantis. the Palmer Public Schools, Miss Patricia Gardner, to address the class and present the Adult Seeds of Selflessness Award.
Thank you. I would like to invite Ms. Bonnie Rathbone, Chairman of the School Committee, to come up to give out the Seeds of Selflessness Award. The Seeds of Selflessness Award is in honor of George Nicholas. I had the pleasure of working with George Nicholas for many years. I was hired in 1974 and he was a principal then. And when I say he was an outstanding educator, outstanding leader, that is indeed an understatement. Every year, the George Nicholas Seeds of Selflessness Award is awarded to students and it's awarded to an adult. And the adult recipient this year could not be a better choice for the Seeds of Selflessness Award. I also had the pleasure of working with this gentleman while I was at Palmer High School. And believe me, outstanding educator, always there for the students, always there to help out and to go above and beyond for everyone. And it is my pleasure to announce the adult recipient of the George Nicholas Seeds of Selflessness Award this year is Peter Farr. Any of us who know Pete knows that he doesn't like to be recognized like this. You're going to forgive me, right, Pete? It's awarded to Peter Farr in recognition of his unceasing acts of selflessness on behalf of the children of Palmer from 1987 to 2020, presented by the Palmer School Committee. Pete? Thank you. And every time I've seen Pete, he's reminded me of how wonderful it is to be retired. So, class of 2021. I'm sorry that my back is always to the classes when I'm addressing you because this is really to you. You've been an incredible, resilient, fun, but really nice group of young men and women. If I can leave you with anything tonight, I want to leave you with the fact that you should believe in miracles. We made it through this year. You're sitting outside at a graduation. We had a senior banquet. We had many things that we did not ever think that we would do this year. So you have sort of lived a miraculous year this year. As tough as it was, as bad as like remote learning was and everything, you have lived a miraculous year. I just want to leave you with this thought. We live on a blue planet that circles around a ball of fire next to a moon that moves the oceans and the seas. You have to believe in miracles. Your being here is a miracle. Living through a pandemic is a miracle. And I expect great things out of each one of you because you can do anything that you put your mind to. And you have made Palmer High School and all of Palmer schools, because many of you started in pre-K. So I wish you all the best in the entire world that it has to offer you.
Thank you, Superintendent Gardner, Ms. Rathbone, and congratulations, Pete. Definitely well deserved. Now we will walk down memory lane as the class historian, Sasha Bernard, recounts the last 13 years of schooling for the graduates.
Think back to day one, leaving for the first day of school. Were you the student running out of the house 10 minutes early out of excitement? Or were your parents dragging you out the door as you held on to them? I think most of us fall into one of these two categories, but eventually we were all on our way to Olmo Pond. We nervously clutched our hot pink or dinosaur backpacks and
and waved at our parents through the windows of the bus that we could just barely see through. Unless you were Kenna Lavasser, who soon learned she was already taller than her kindergarten teacher. Once we asked the simple question of, do you want to be friends? Or sweetly complimented each other's lunchboxes, we quickly made friends with everyone in our classes. From here, we soon learned that our favorite subjects were specials like computers, gym, and recess. Recess was the only time of day that we were allowed to talk, yell, and run around like maniacs until we had no more energy left. But before releasing the energy, we would trade lunches and laugh in the cafeteria, while Denise Lavasser would start the infamous Reese's Puffs rap. After eating, it was finally time to run out to the blacktop and hope that was our class's turn to play on the big playground. Our classes had to rotate because the playground wasn't big enough for all of us to climb the monkey bars, walk the balance beam, or slide down the firefighter pole all at once. We quickly realized that even on the blacktop, there was bound to be an incident, with all the kids running around at once. Ryan DeSantis and Tori Edwards were playing. It was supposed to be a friendly basketball game. Until Ryan gave Tori a black eye. Just imagine his fear when he remembered that his teacher was Tori's mom. A bunch of cursive and multiplication lessons later, we were 4th graders, and the oldest in the school. To celebrate this, we had the opportunity to play recorders in the yearly Christmas concert. Unfortunately, only half of us could actually play without making loud squeaky noises. This was also the first time we had more than one teacher and had to move classrooms with the Walk to Right program, preparing us for moving up to middle school. When we headed to middle school, just like back in kindergarten, we were once again the youngest. Sitting in the front of the bus, but this time rolling our eyes as our parents waved us off. We are no longer the cute little kids, but cringy preteens, anxiously entering Commerce Middle School. This was a time in our lives that most of us might not want to remember. We didn't make the brightest of decisions. Everything turned into a competition, and our yearbook photos were the worst. As mentioned, we didn't make the brightest decisions. However, those not so bright decisions caused more havoc than we intended them to. Remember our fun daily field trips to St. Thomas Parish? Or when Lewis broke a glass door with his head? Hopefully he's doing better at Pathfinder. There was also the 5th grade egg drop, which channeled everyone's creative competitiveness, with many innovative contraptions winning, like the classic egg in a peanut butter jar, or Emma Charette, who encased hers in a styrofoam box. Then, as 7th graders, we had another chance to use the middle school competitiveness to crush the teachers in the annual Catch It Classic basketball game. Too bad we lost. Not exactly how I wanted to leave our middle school years, but nonetheless, we were moving on. In 8th grade, we were finally high schoolers, ready to take on Palmer High and eager to travel to DC for our first big field trip. The DC trip was our chance to see new sights and get away from our parents for a few days. But the bus ride was a bumpy ride for some, and Mason Brown was literally flung forward when the bus abruptly stopped. When we arrived at the hotel, we immediately started having fun unpacking with our roommates and hanging out in the game room. Then, we made a public Snapchat story where all would post our room numbers so we could prank call each other. After this trip, we finished out our 8th grade year, and we knew we needed to be more mature. Whether or not that actually happened, still up for debate. When moving into freshman year, Palmer High transitioned from an 8 to 12 school to a 6 to 12 school, as Converse was deemed unusable. We were the last class to enter the high school with the normal 5-grade system, and we quickly had to get used to being shoved in the hallways and accidentally hitting small children with the doors. Most of us didn't like this change at all, but I bet Chelsea Vegas was at least a little bit glad she wasn't Storst in school anymore. Freshman year was the time to try new things, such as Alice strokes. During these, we had the option to run or stay in barricade. But as freshmen, freshmen, we had so much energy that inevitably most people ran. Some took this drill a little more seriously than others, like our valedictorian, Jacob Mastalish, who booked it out of the physics room so fast that I slid right into the door divider, breaking his nose. Maybe the most shocking part is when he immediately got back up and kept running, even with the blood dripping the whole way out the door. Clearly, this type of determination manifested itself into his academics as well. As we moved on to sophomore year, our futures started to seem more real, as everyone started to find passions and future career aspirations. Growing up, some had dreams of becoming princesses or astronauts, but now we are faced with making more serious decisions. Ali Hader was prepared for this though, and started his rapping career as young Gahady. It was a short-lived career, but arguably a successful one. There was also the fire sophomore year that allowed for a 2-week break while the building was cleaned out. Good thing Google Meets weren't a thing yet. Of course, our proximity to random accidents didn't end there though, because soon after we had a group trip to France, where we visited the Notre Dame Cathedral in France, when it suffered a devastating fire. Although the news said it was likely due to an electrical malfunction or burning cigarette, we still wonder if it was actually the candle thief that caused it. Junior year wasn't like any other year, with 2 major events that affected us rather than one. The first being Plantgate, when PHS students can leave their house without being asked if they'd eaten the plant, like it was some contagious lack of judgment that was spread throughout the whole school. Then, in the second half of the year, we had COVID-19. What we thought would be a mere 2-week break makes us laugh now, as it is still affecting us over a year later. From this, we have learned many lessons, and I think we all can agree, everyone hates Chromebooks. They never work properly, and we always need IT to come fix them. But some dislike Chromebooks more than others. Right, James? And now, here we are. No longer passengers on the yellow bus taking us to the Palmer schools. The time has come for us to sit in the driver's seat and choose our own routes that lead to our futures. And as we move forward, we'll stop for nothing. I simply cannot sum up all that we've been through these past years in just one speech, but it's thanks to all of these memories that we have been able to get so close to the class. Even now, as we sit 3 feet apart. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. The class of 2021 will now perform their class song, Good Old Days by Macklemore.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band. I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name in the star. Now look at where we at, still growing up. Still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I've become. Couldn't wait to get older. Couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights
Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what other people thought. I felt comfortable with myself. Rooftop open, and the stars above. Moment frozen, sneaking out and falling in love. Me, you, and that futon. We just begun. On the grass dreaming, figuring out who I was. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Never thought we'd get old. Maybe we're still young. Maybe you always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past. While I'm missing out on now. We've come so far. I guess I'm proud. Those good old days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
Wasn't that great? At Palmer High School, we have several advanced placement course offerings that adhere to the high rigor of college coursework. At the end of their studies, students take the AP exam seeking college credits. To honor their success, these students have received honor cords to be worn as part of their academic regalia. Each cord is a different color, signifying an academic department. Those completing work in art receive a copper cord, math a silver cord, English a maroon cord, history a navy blue cord, and science a green cord. Along with taking advanced placement courses, the seniors of Palmer High School are also given the option to partake in the dual enrollment program with local colleges. These students take regular college-level classes and simultaneously earn high school and college credits. Students receiving these given two cords tied together with a primary color from our sending institution and the college which students attend. This year, the cord recipients completed coursework at Holyoke Community College. As students are presented, we ask the audience to please refrain from applauding until all the students are acknowledged. Amelia Bashon, English, Math, Science, History. Bethany Baiz, English. Jocelyn Bernard, English, Math. Sasha Bernard, English, Math, Science, History, dual enrollment. Chelsea Begas, English, Math. Mackey, math. Avery Labani, English, math. Kendall Lavasser, English, math, science. Jillian Lombardi, science. Joseph Mango Jr., English. James Mango, English. Jacob Mastalish, English, math, history, dual enrollment. Abigail McCoy, math, science. Maya Miga, math, science, history, art. Joseph Nowak Jr., science. Nathan Oliveira, math. Michaela Perrin, English, history. Aaliyah Placanico, English. Abigail Rathbone, math. Ashley Rivas, math, science. Madison Robitaille, English, math, science. Emma Rock, math. Emma Charette, English, math. Nicholas Silva, English, history. Olivia Sloat, English, math, science, dual enrollment. Tierre Stallone, English, math. Carissa Wood, English, math, science. Jing Xu, English, math, science, dual enrollment. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021 Advanced Placement and Dual Enrollment Cord recipients. Tonight's salutatory address will be delivered by a very familiar face. This individual has been participating in cheerleading for the last 11 years and served as captain for her junior and senior years. Along with competing in this sport, she also worked as a coach and mentor to a younger squad of cheerleaders through the Palmer Cowboys Football and Cheer Association. In the spring and summer months, she has played varsity tennis and traveled overseas with the group Operation Friendship. While balancing her commitment, she has served as a class historian, a student council representative, and is an active member of the National Honor Society. This young woman, who is lovingly referred to as Squish, will be attending Bridgewater State University to major in psychology. I am pleased to present to you this evening the salutatorian of the class of 2021, Sasha Bernard.
Graduates of the class of 2021, family, faculty, and friends, I'm honored to be standing before you on this joyous day. If you asked me a few years ago if I would stand in front of a crowd this large to give a speech, I would have laughed and then politely declined. And yet, here I am, not only to give one, but two speeches. I worried so much about the delivery of the speech that I completely underestimated how stressful the construction of the speech really would be. I started wondering, what if I'm not funny? What if I don't use proper diction? What if I walk up to that podium and am unable to complete this one last assignment before my high school career ends? These fears fueled my desire to write the perfect speech and present it to everyone eloquently. This is when I realized that fear, though usually perceived in a negative light, is actually the driving force of success when viewed with a positive mentality and with the support from others. Fear is considered to be an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous or likely to cause pain. But fears are so much deeper than that. Before being able to face our fears, we must recognize them, name them, and understand them, because fear lies in all of us differently. What terrifies me most is public speaking. I don't know when it started, but my first time recognizing it was in 7th grade. There was a Kyrgyzstan talent show where I planned on singing the song Counting Stars by OneRepublic. I practiced it countless times before, but before I could sing even a single word, I started crying. Staring out into the sea of faces and expectant eyes caused me to cry, even though I was fully prepared. Although most of us might not admit it, we have all cried out of fear at some point in our lives. Especially now, as we're about to take the next step towards our unknown futures. We as a society put an abundance of pressure on college and career success, so the daunting thought of failing in our future endeavors is especially dreadful. The fear for our futures was especially apparent in the past year or so, when COVID-19 turned everyone's lives upside down, and we had to face it not only as a class, but as a community. The first step to facing our fears after recognizing them is planning how we overcome them. This can include evaluating the risks or creating an action plan, because a majority of the time, fear simply comes from not knowing enough about what scares us. In the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, everyone panicked. But as time went on, we slowly understood it more and solutions were formed. Remember when people used to argue about whether or not masks would actually help? Or that certain types of masks work better than others, like the N95, cloth masks, or face shields? Then, one step at a time, specific guidelines were established to keep everyone safe, and we realized that any mask would work just fine. At the local, state, and federal level, education and planning helped bring us back to this point of normalcy, where we are able to celebrate this graduation with so many of you. With the support from others, the unpleasant feeling associated with fear can be diminished, making facing them easier. We are fortunate to have grown up in a small town with so many familiar faces to guide us and to lean on. Our teachers, to whom we are close enough to rant when we have a bad day. Our friends that we can call up crying at midnight. And families that will, even when simply walking through Big Y, it is inevitable that you'll run into 5 different people you know. Facing our fears is easy when remembering this fact, and knowing that everyone is supporting us. Looking out into the crowd now, I've had the pleasure of growing up with mostly everyone here. So it makes giving the speech feel a little more comfortable. Arguably the hardest part of overcoming our fears is being confident in ourselves. And honestly, this is still an ongoing struggle for me. I would like to stand up here and say that I'm not terrified right now, and that I feel 100% confident in my speech. But that is just not the truth. Public speaking is a struggle for so many, including many famous figures, with one being Mahatma Gandhi. He was so afraid of public speaking that he would avoid dinner parties and gatherings if he knew he had to speak. And when he did give speeches, he would get choked up after just the first sentence. His passion helped him push past his fears to become a successful attorney, arguing cases in front of so many, and inspiring so many with his words. Gandhi was a soft-spoken man, and yet said some of the most profound statements. The lesson we can take from this: don't let fear control you. So as we move forward towards our unknown futures, with diplomas in hand, I encourage each of you to move forward with passion and face your fears with confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. You did an amazing job. The class of 2021 has missed out on many activities. One of these events is at the heart of our seniors in the community when both come together to celebrate the achievements of the graduates, Senior Awards Night. While we were unable to host this event, the community maintained their support even through this trying economic situation. At this time, we would like for you to turn to pages 6, 7, and 8 in your program. Here you will see a list of the many organizations, businesses, families, and individuals that selflessly offered scholarships to our seniors. Because of their generosity, valedictorian Jacob Mistalish. During his time at Palmer High School, Jacob has pursued and achieved academic excellence showcased by his induction to the National Honor Society, placing as a finalist in the Lions Speech State Competition in 2020, and partaken in the dual enrollment program with Hoyo Community College in his senior year. In addition to his studies, Jacob is an active member of his school community as a student representative to the Palmer High School School Council, as well as serving on the District Attorney's Youth Advisory Board. Furthermore, Jacob can be seen playing on the basketball court and football field, where most recently his leadership, dedication, and commitment to his sport was recognized as he was named the recipient of the Leonard J. Bailey Award. Jacob will be heading to UMass Amherst this fall, where he will pursue his degree in biomedical engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud and privileged to present to you this evening valedictorian of the class of 2021, Jacob Mistalish.
Changes happen all the time. We change our clothes, our habits, our thinking, and much more. You might even change your nose after running into a metal pole during an evacuation drill at school. Yes, that happened to me. Many people don't realize the value of change and become reluctant. Whether it's because of stubbornness or nervousness of getting pushed out of our comfort zone, people fall into stagnation. However, we should never stagnate. Change gives meaning to our lives and allows us to grow. Without change, we would fail to become the best possible versions of ourselves. The most notable change in our lives has been the pandemic. I still vividly remember March 13th, 2020. That day, I was in the car with friends and received the best news a high school student could get. No school for 2 weeks. When I first heard the news, I wasn't thinking of the future. I assumed we would have a 2-week vacation, then return to school. As we all know, that didn't happen. Instead of going to school, complaining about class, and making memories at the lunch table, we sat behind a screen at home in our pajamas. Instead of hanging out with our friends, we had to stay away in our imaginary 6-foot circles. Instead of seeing everyone's faces, we had to wear masks. Sports were altered, classrooms were modified, and many of the events we looked forward to were canceled. Because of the changes brought by COVID, many people fell into stagnation. People sat in their rooms, scrolling on TikTok all day, or gaining weight with the temptation of a refrigerator 10 steps away. However, COVID was also an opportunity for personal growth. People were able to spend quality time with their families, find new hobbies, or start a new exercise routine. Along with growth, there was also positive adjustment to change. Instead of completely missing out on gatherings such as birthdays and holidays, we safely adapted with birthday card parades and family Zoom calls. Even in the worst times, there's always an opportunity to grow and adapt to become a better version of ourselves. Throughout history, people have evolved for individual growth through their expansion of knowledge, leading to discoveries that benefited society. One such example is Tycho Brahe. Unlike Copernicus and Galileo, Brahe wasn't a well-known astronomer. He wanted to discover the meaning of the universe and persuaded the King of Denmark to build him an astronomical observatory. Brahe charted the skies for 25 years, creating close to 100 charts before he got kicked out by the new King of Denmark. Tycho was determined to find his answer, so he continued his work in Germany. Although he died before he found his answer, his work was used by his assistant, Johannes Kepler, to develop the laws of planetary movement. Looking at stars through a telescope to cells through a microscope, a more recent example is Katalin Karikó. Karikó is a Hungarian scientist who genetic script that carries DNA instructions to each cell's protein-making machinery. Kariko was convinced that mRNA could be used to instruct cells to create their own medicine, such as vaccines, but had trouble finding support. She went from lab to lab, hoping senior scientists would give her an opportunity. After many attempts, she found the support of Dr. Weissman, who was trying to make an mRNA vaccine for HIV. Their research advanced and received the support of two well-known companies, Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna, who both played a pivotal role in our fight against the recent global pandemic. Tycho Brahe and Katalin Kariko both epitomized change. Brahe refused to fall stagnant, slowly creating new and improved versions of his charts. Kariko had to change from job to job, scientist to scientist, so she could research mRNA. Both of them refused to remain content with their lives. They continued to adjust throughout their lives, improving not only themselves but society as a whole, through their works being the basis for the laws of planetary movement and the COVID vaccine. Throughout my time in high school, I've learned many lessons through my AP classes. One of the most impactful lessons I've learned came from my favorite childhood book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Sadly, the author, Eric Carle, has recently passed away, but the message in the book still illustrates the value of change. To the class of 2021, we've undergone this ritual of change. Many of us began as caterpillars, navigating the halls of Old Mill Pond. We learned to read and write, and received the building blocks for our future. We then transitioned to the cocoon phase of Converse Middle School. We started to find our way, developing our interests, as well as continuing to grow and learn. Finally, during our time at Palmer High School, we evolved into beautiful butterflies. Our wings had unique patterns and colors, identifying us through our interests and actions. When talking about The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Eric Carle called the book a book of hope, as you too can grow up and grow wings. Well, now, we've grown our wings. We've experienced this metamorphosis and grew into beautiful butterflies, ready to take on the world. As graduating seniors, change is upon us. Whether it's going to the military, getting a full-time job, or going to college, our lives are going to continue evolving. To everyone here today, change. Without change, there would be no growth. We wouldn't realize what we're capable of achieving, and we wouldn't become the people we are meant to be. Thank you. Before I leave the podium, I'd like to ask the class of 2021 to For those of you who don't know, Miss Chapin has been the PHS Senior Class Advisor for 11 years, ever since a well-intentioned colleague kicked a box through her door. Every year, she's responsible for planning all of the senior events, including senior banquet and graduation, attentive to the smallest detail, troubleshooting any potential flaw, always finding a way to make everything perfect. Luckily for us, but sadly for PHS, this will be her last year advising. Miss Chapin doesn't get the recognition she deserves for her hard work, but as her last senior class, the class of 2021 would like to congratulate her on 11 years of success with a few tokens of our appreciation.
Congratulations, Paula Chapin. You definitely deserve that recognition for putting on an amazing ceremony for the students. At this time, I would like to call upon Palmer High School Athletic Director Matt Marciniak to present the MVP awards in the Athletes of the Year, as well as recognize the 3 MIAA student ambassadors.
Thank you, Mrs. North. I'm happy to be here to celebrate the graduates of the class of 2021. While athletics look different from what we're used to, we were able to finish many outstanding seasons, see milestones achieved, and individual goals surpassed. I first would like to acknowledge 3 student athletes who served as MIAA ambassadors here at Palmer High School. They met and worked with other MIAA ambassadors throughout the Commonwealth, bringing back valuable ideas and programs to improve educational athletics here at Palmer High. The Palmer High Athletic Department would like to thank Ava Denault, Olivia Coughlin, and Chelsea Begas for all their hard work to improve Palmer High School. It is now my pleasure to announce this year's award winners. Boys Cross Country. This student athlete was selected for MVP, displayed wonderful sportsmanship to all his competitors. A cooperative team member from Pathfinder, the 2021 cross country MVP goes to Brennan Merzda. Brennan received his award at Pathfinder's graduation on Friday, or yesterday. Girls Cross Country. This student athlete is reliable, dedicated, and hardworking. She does anything that is asked of her without complaint and is always trying to get better. Over the past seasons, she has evolved from being shy and quiet and a follower to taking over and being the lead runner of the team. She consistently was the team's #1, and we look forward to seeing her continue to be the best she can be next year. The 2021 Girls Cross Country MVP goes to Adriana Marinisi. Field hockey. The 2020 season was not easy for field hockey. In a sport with no feeder program, the struggle to maintain numbers is very real. And in a season with no games due to COVID, the struggle to stay engaged is also very real. This team persevered, and the 10 players remained committed through frigid temperatures, tennis court practices, injuries, and dashed hopes when games were canceled. No matter, they showed up every single day, worked hard, developed camaraderie, and have built a strong foundation for the future. Congratulations to all of you for your dedication to the program and to each other. The 2021 MVP in field hockey goes to the entire team. If any field hockey athletes are in attendance, please stand to be recognized. Golf. This year's MVP for golf goes to a sophomore that has been on the team for 4 seasons. Each and every year, this player has raised the bar to spectacular heights. His work ethic and leadership skills are one to admire. During the shortened season, he was able to shoot 2 rounds under par during his matches, where he held an individual record of 6-1-2 and helped the team to an overall record of 6-3. His scoring average of just below a 39 was a staggering improvement of 3 strokes from last season and was named to the All-Western Mass first team for Division II. The 2021 Golf MVP goes to Ethan Boschman. Boys soccer. From start to finish, he was the best player on the field for our team. In years past, he played more on defense, but with the need for a goal scorer this year, he was moved to striker and had success right away. He scored 10 goals with 2 assists, scoring in every game he appealed in. His speed, excellent finishing capability, and on-point passing led the attack and helped his teammates around him excel. The 2021 soccer MVP goes to Brandon Costa. Girls soccer. This student athlete played 4 years on the varsity soccer team. She was an integral player throughout the year and helped the varsity team make the playoffs throughout her career. This player was one of the keys on the field both offensively and defensively this past fall. She was one player that came to compete every day, whether it was at practice or competition. She was selected All-League for 2 years and second team All-League, All-Western Mass this past fall. The 2021 soccer MVP goes to Maya Miga. Cheerleading. We are truly proud of our entire Palmer varsity cheerleading squad's resilience, ability to adapt, and overall positive team spirit. In this most unusual year, we thought it was fitting to recognize the entire team with this special award. We wish our departing seniors the very best in the future endeavors and hope to see the remaining squad members back in the fall. The 2021 MVP in cheer goes to the entire team. Will senior cheer athletes and any of the team in attendance today please stand to be recognized? Football. This year's football MVP is also a little unconventional. With uncertainty surrounding COVID-19, football was moved to a March start date in Massachusetts. This created some very cold and wet practices that were fully attended by the entire team. Each athlete came to practice trying to improve on the skills they learned the previous day. With COVID numbers rising in Palmer, football was only allowed to play in 2 competitions while practicing throughout. Because of their dedication and willingness to put the work in at practice and with no guarantee for a game, this year's MVP of football will be given to the entire 2020 football team. Will senior football players and any others in attendance please stand to be recognized? The Matthew Harris Award. This second annual award is in memory of Matthew Harris, a Palmer High graduate and 4-year football player. Matt was the type of player who was always the first to run on the field and someone his teammates could lean on in games and in life. Matt went on to serve his country with the Marines and dedicated his life to helping others. The Matt Harris Award is being given to a student athlete who embodies the commitment, sacrifice, and positive attitude that Matt brought to the halls and playing fields of Palmer High. After 4 years in the Palmer High football program, this player was a leader and role model from the time he stepped on the field. Playing running back and calling the plays on the defense at linebacker, this player created an environment that allowed him and his teammates to succeed. This year's recipient of the Matthew Harris Award goes to Jacob Mastalish. Girls swimming and diving. This athlete is a valuable student athlete both in the pool and out, and was our girls team captain. She was one of the leading point scorers on the team. Her coaches highlight that she can swim any event and swim it very well. She was a role model for the many young swimmers on the team and made the pool a better environment when she was in it. A cooperative team member from Ware, the 2020 MVP in girls swimming and diving goes to Alicia Crump. Boys swimming and diving. This athlete was a huge part of our swim team and a valuable swimmer as well as diver. Swimming the distance events that are challenging for a lot of swimmers, this athlete never shied away from a challenge, making it look easy. A top scorer for his dives, this athlete was always trying to get better every day in the pool. He is a valuable swimmer both in the pool and out for his team, and is one that will be missed. A cooperative team member from Pathfinder, the 2021 co-MVP in boys swimming and diving goes to Richie Martin. Richie received his award at Pathfinder's graduation yesterday. This swimmer was the backbone of the team while swimming and diving for Palmer High. He always encouraged his teammates to have fun and do their best, and his leadership qualities and commitment to his teammates always shine through. This athlete was a top scorer in diving, and many of the times in his events were not only top of his team, but also the area. His leadership and commitment was also outmatched by his infectious smile and attitude. A cooperative team member from Ware, the 2021 co-MVP in boys swimming and diving goes to Miles McGrail. Girls basketball. This athlete never let injuries, tough losses, or roadblocks stop her from being successful. Her passion for the game of basketball, exciting athlete to watch run up and down the court, dive for loose balls, grab. This athlete has exceeded all expectations for this basketball team, and it shows every time she steps on the court. Whether it was a strong move to the hoop, a quick steal, a desperate rebound, or clutch foul shots, she rarely disappointed. Her coaches and teammates would identify her as a very enthusiastic player, a dedicated, loyal teammate, and someone whose aspirations to win are unmeasurable. The 2021 basketball co-MVP goes to Madeline Theriault. Madeline unfortunately couldn't make it today and will receive her award at a later time. Boys basketball. A leader in many of the sports he plays, this basketball player came into his own during his junior year of basketball. This athlete is a skilled wing player with good range. His emerging playmaking skills will propel him to be one of the top players in Division III when he returns his senior season. He led the team in scoring average with 15.8 points, rebounding with 9.2 rebounds a game, and assists with 2.5 a game. The 2021 Shield Award winner in basketball goes to Jack Latender. Wrestling. Palmer High student athletes have the ability to compete in wrestling through the MIA Cooperative Team Program at Pathfinder Regional. At Pathfinder's graduation, seniors from each sport received a plaque recognizing their contributions to their sport. Tonight, we recognize senior Marcus Lasaint for his contributions to wrestling at Pathfinder and representing Palmer High School while competing there. Unified track. This athlete has wowed everyone this season with her athleticism and eagerness to improve. She excels at each event she participates in, including clearing 12 feet on the long jump. She is not only a great athlete, but because of her positive attitude and enthusiasm, she makes a fantastic unified team member. If she is not participating in events herself, you will find her cheering on her teammates and the members of the other team. The 2021 MVP of Unified Track and Field goes to Sophia Kachi. Girls Track and Field. The MVP for the girls track and field goes to an athlete who has given a lot to the program for her time at Palmer High School. She was named a team captain this year, running the 400 meter and 4x4 relay. She was an integral part of these events and left behind some big shoes to fill. Her coaches and teammates will miss her sense of humor and leadership next year. The 2020 MVP of track and field goes to Abigail Rathbone. boys track and field. This four-year athlete in track and field has been the heart of the track and field program here at Palmer High. He works extremely hard in practice, but also goes above and beyond in the off-season working to get better. He is a great mentor to the younger athletes and strives to make them feel like valuable assets to the team. His teammates and coaches wish him well moving forward. The 2020 MVP of track and field goes to Joseph Nowak. Tennis. This year's tennis MVP is a longtime member of the tennis team who always brings a positive attitude and tremendous work ethic to each and every practice and match. She's a leader on the team and consistently strives to improve not only her own performance, but the performance of her fellow athletes as well. She will be tennis goes to Sasha Bernard. Softball. In a year where Coach Korzik had many valuable assets, especially in her senior class, it was difficult to choose only one. Each senior shone in her own unique way. If they were having an off day on the field, they were the loudest on the bench and their team's best morale support. This year's MVP leads the team in RBIs, batting average with runners in scoring position, and is second on the team in stolen bases and fielding percentage. Over the course of the first 3 games, she started in 3 different positions: second base, shortstop, and pitcher. In her first plate appearance since 8th grade, she hit a home run, and even when she is in a slump, she maintains her composure and encourages teammates. The 2021 MVP in softball goes to Madison Cole. Baseball. On a team where everyone contributes, this was a difficult choice to name a baseball MVP. This athlete may not jump off the stat sheet in the traditional sense, but this is an athlete that will do anything you ask for the better of the team. He's the backup catcher, starting center fielder, is never an easy out at the plate, and whenever we need a strike on the mound or need something to calm us down, he steps up, throws strikes, and gives the team a shot. He's not afraid to speak up and owns his mistakes. He is the definition of valuable. The 2021 Shield Award winner in baseball goes to Anthony Ukrainitz. Anthony Tony Scavera Award. The Anthony Tony Scavera Award goes to a senior baseball player who was selected by the coaching staff as a leader both on and off the playing field. This player exemplifies the work ethic and team-first mentality demonstrated by Tony while a member of the Palmer High baseball team. This athlete has worked hard this year to learn how to be a better leader and player. He has stayed in constant communication in the face of adversity and worked hard to overcome the obstacles put forth in front of him. He is never one to shy away from talking, even if we don't always agree on the subject matter. On the field, he has come up with some timely extra base hits and plays an extremely solid defensive first base. The 2021 Anthony Tony Scavera Award goes to Nathan Oliveira. Female Athlete of the Year. This year's Female Athlete of the Year is being given to a three-sport athlete who throughout her time here at Palmer High School didn't let adversity keep her from competing. Her accomplishments are indicative of her dedication and commitment to each sport. Competing in soccer, basketball, and softball, she brought her intensity and passion for the game out whenever she got the chance, changing the game whenever she was in the lineup. The 2021 Athlete of the Year is Jillian Lombardi. The Male Athlete of the Year goes to a two-sport athlete who performs on and off the field. Competing in both football and basketball, he led each team with his play and leadership. Often referred to as an assistant coach, this athlete made plays while also putting his teammates in positions to make them as well. The 2021 Male Athlete of the Year goes to Jacob Mastalish. Congratulations, class of 2021, and good luck in all of your futures.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marciniak. I now have the pleasure of introducing valedictorian Carissa Wood. Over the years, Carissa has dedicated herself to her academics, earning awards such as Outstanding Achievement in English, as well as pursuing credits to accelerate her graduation to begin her college studies. While maintaining this coursework, she participated and worked 30 hours a week at her job. In the fall, she will be attending Wheaton College to double major in legal studies and Spanish, which she will use to pursue her law degree. To prepare for this, Carissa has already been accepted as the executive board member of the Student Council at Wheaton, where she will chair all community outreach activities. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome to the lectern Carissa Wood, valedictorian of the class of 2021.
Greetings, family, friends, faculty, and the graduating class of 2021. Continuous joys and the memories of the times we've shared, the laughs we've had, and the tears we've shed. While we may be leaving today with only a piece of paper to recap years of our lives, that one diploma will always be worth hundreds of stories. Throughout Throughout our time at Palmer High, the class of 2021 has learned the importance of our studies through the measures of our scores. Depending on teachers, strict parents, or just personal expectations, it became apparent over the years that the value of our knowledge appeared to be defined by whatever grade was received on any given assignment. It didn't matter if you were an honors or an AP student, or if you barely turned in assignments. It always hurt to see your hard work discredited by a predetermined grading scale. An F made us feel like a failure. A D made it seem like we were dumb. And a C invalidated our work, deeming it as careless. At times, it was beyond discouraging and even overwhelming. I'm guilty of this myself, but I've seen people use said scores to correlate to the contents of their character. Often, whether studying didn't pay off or just careless mistakes were made, I noticed my fellow classmates begin to allow a number on a test to change their views of themselves as an individual. Growing up, it's no secret that as teens we feel insecure. Insecure about our bodies, insecure about our personalities, insecure about our lives, and insecure about everything, really. So starting off with these relatively frail egos, it's easy to allow our perspectives of ourselves to not necessarily be positive. It is through struggling with this myself and many tear-filled conversations with my teachers that I began to realize while our grades determine our rank in our class or our score on standardized tests, they cannot decide our worth unless we let them. Standing before you as a co-valedictorian, I'm the epitome of success. By faculty standards, by society standards, and by my peers' standards. Constantly, my hardships during my studies have been written off, with my peers and even teachers saying it's just so easy for me, or that I don't even have to try. During my time at Palmer High, I learned how many people were convinced I'm successful, and that I never had to try a day in my life. But truthfully, no one knows what goes on behind closed doors. No one saw my countless sleepless nights, my tear-filled eyes, or every time I was so close to giving up. It didn't take long for me to realize that while it's amazing to hear how successful you are, that term's just a matter of opinion. Being successful entails exceeding expectations, but it never states who those expectations are defined by. If you were to approach freshman me by my expectations, I had yet to be successful. Everything I achieved was just a stepping stone on the path to where I knew I wanted to be one day. In the duration of my 4 years at this school, I finally learned that I'd rather be satisfied with myself as opposed to successful. You can always be successful, and you very well will not be satisfied with your life. But never once will you be satisfied and not believe you are successful. My advice to my peers beyond high school is to not worry about whether or not someone thinks we are successful, but rather strive to be satisfied with our own lives. Success is merely based on the downfall of others. We can never be first if someone doesn't come second. That's like saying that all the vice presidents in the history of this country weren't successful because they weren't actually the president. Or that the background dancers for J-Lo aren't amazing dancers because they're just in the background. In the fight to be successful by everyone else's standards, we will fall short due to what we have not done. Being the vice president doesn't mean you aren't leading an entire country. Just like being in the background doesn't mean you aren't dancing for the top pop star in the world. Supporting roles and runner-ups are merely in place to allow the winners to feel successful to begin with. But just because we aren't necessarily the best doesn't mean we don't have a plethora of accomplishments to be proud of. It's the toxic mindset dwelling on how someone is always better than us. Success imposes striving to be the impossible, to accomplish everything on the endless battle of just having to do one more thing. It is so easy to lose ourselves on the basis of being successful. Sometimes we just need to take a step back. We need to take a moment and think to ourselves, why should we need to be better than someone else to feel like we're enough? Think about it like this. Satisfaction is obtainable. Satisfaction brings rewards beyond tangible plastic trophies. Satisfaction is worth more than any medal, it's worth more than any certificate, and it's surely worth more than any diploma. Satisfaction is a success on an individual level. It's the way of eliminating the insecurity of comparisons. Our personal best is far more important than beating someone else's. So it's crucial that if anything in my time at Palmer High resonates with any of you tonight, it's that the accomplishments we already have will outweigh everything we failed to do. We need to be proud of what we've done and not worry on what we have yet to do. It's not always a matter of we can't. Sometimes we just have to wait for the right opportunity. The easiest way to remind ourselves of this is to look at literally any product ever made. Companies all over the world use the slogan, satisfaction guaranteed. We are all products in the making, going through trials and tribulations, constantly trying to be the best we can be. There's no promise we'll be the best in the world, or set records by any means. But if we put our minds to it, we will surely discover that satisfaction is guaranteed. And as a final word on my experiences throughout my time at Palmer High, I wanted to take a moment to personally thank my family, who I wouldn't be here today without, and say a final goodbye to someone who could not be with us today. I want it to be known that I dedicate this entire speech to my late Auntie Diana. She unfortunately passed away almost a month ago today due to cancer, and I owe her all the credit in the world. It is because of her that I have the strength to be here today in the first place. Her views on life have overturned my perspective as of late, and I owe her one last thank you for showing me you really only get one life. As much as I wish I could have said it to her before, I will never forget how she always showed me to live life to the fullest, laugh as much as possible, and love endlessly. I am happy to say that she is the reason I will always make sure I am satisfied with my life, and because of that, I am already successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Carissa. That was truly inspiring. I am happy to present the chairperson of the Palmer School Committee, Ms. Bonnie Rathbone.
First of all of the student speeches were outstanding and they're a tough act to follow. Thank you, students. Greetings, graduates, family, and friends. Isn't it nice to be back here on Legion Field? Special thanks to all who made this day possible. On behalf of the Palmer School Committee, I offer sincere congratulations to the class of 2021. We are here to celebrate you. Graduates, to say that your junior and senior years have been unusual is indeed an understatement. There were no spring sports, activities, or junior prom last year, and this school year began with many uncertainties as well. However, you as a class persevered. If you had questions or concerns about specific things, such as sports, activities, graduations, etc., you acted responsibly and maturely by reaching out to administration, the superintendent, and/or the school committee to address those issues. You are to be commended for that. Additionally, your parents advocated for and supported you. They, along with family members, community members, and school staff and administration, banded together to ensure that you were celebrated and recognized. And Maya Miga certainly put it far better than I did. Thank you, Maya. Please offer your thanks to all of those who helped you be celebrated and recognized. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't offer special thanks to Paula Chapin. Who does not want to be recognized? As you leave Palmer High School, please remember to appreciate the small things, celebrate yourself and your achievements, pursue your dreams, and own your own happiness. Make a difference. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. Give back to your community, to society, to your country. Make things better for the future, because you are our future. We are so very proud of each and every one of you. In closing, I offer a quote by Oscar Wilde. I saying to you, to each of you individually, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Ms. Rathbone. It is my pleasure to inform you, attest to, and certify that each and every member of the class of 2021 that is before you on this day, June 6, 2021, has completed all the necessary requirements to be the recipient of the diploma he or she is about to be awarded this evening. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Rathbone, Superintendent Gardner, and Ms. Mahoney up to begin the distribution of diplomas. Avery Michelle Lafonte. Madison Nora Cole. Olivia Isabella Coughlin, Palmer Scholar. Tier Sunye Stallone! Class of 2021, can I get one final Palmer yup? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the officially graduated class of 2021! Before we conclude our ceremony, I would like to say thank you to all of those involved in making this event possible. While there are too many to list individually, please know that we at the Palmer Public Schools are truly grateful for each of your expertise and assistance in making tonight a success. Graduates, tonight is a culmination of your 13 years of education in Palmer. Each of you has left an indelible mark on those you have encountered and the school community as a whole. Students, you will certainly be missed, but we look forward to the positive impacts you will have on our world. With this, we say farewell to the senior class and welcome to the newest Palmer High School alumni. To conclude tonight's festivities, we ask for you to join in singing the school song, which may be found in your program. Please remain standing for the recessional that follows. Thank you, everyone.